Caleigh introduce herself and tell you all about Library Aware. Caleigh,
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Patty, and thank you for allowing me to join you today for your first meeting of the year. This is exciting. This is an overview of libraryware, and in this session, we'll explore what libraryware is, what it has to offer, and how it can be your go-to resource for all things related to library marketing. And then we'll jump in to libraryware to learn how to search for the templates that you need and get comfortable navigating the interface. So just brief introductions. My name is Caleigh Haworth. I'm an engagement consultant with Novelist, and I do a lot of work with libraryware. I've been here at Novelist for about 3.5 years. And before that, I worked in the communications department of a large rural library system in Alberta, Canada. That's where I'm located. So I'm sure wherever you are, it's probably warmer than where I am right now. Um, Kansas, you're in central Kansas. So I loved using libraryware in my former role, so it was a really fantastic opportunity for me to join Novelist and get to engage with our libraryware users. I really enjoy helping library staff discover how they can utilize libraryware in their daily work to market books, programs, and services. Good customer service is all about making sure your community feels connected to the library. And Libraryware makes it easy to do that. Whether it's program flyers and book displays in the library, emails, content for social media and your website, Libraryware has you covered. It also provides the stats behind your communications. And throughout all of this, Libraryware brings a library-focused touch. You can think of libraryware as having two main sections, and each is packed with useful features. So first up are emails, and this covers e-blasts and newsletters, like our Next Reads newsletters, which are curated reading recommendation lists that automatically go out to subscriber inboxes, and I'll dive a bit more into those in a moment. Plus, you can send out custom e-blasts for all sorts of things, monthly or weekly news and events, roundups, announcements, welcoming new patrons, you name it. The other section is for the print and digital materials, and Libraryware offers over 9,000 templates with new ones being added all the time. These templates are designed specifically for libraries by professional graphic designers who have library experience. They're consistent, polished, and as ready to go as possible. The idea is to make it super easy for you. You just pop in your details, like maybe your date and time for a program, and you're ready to go. And that way you save a ton of time and effort. You're not always having to start from scratch. With that said, though, our templates are all totally customizable, so you can tweak as much or as little as you need. You can change things like fonts, colors, images, book jackets. Just go for it. It's all up to you. Libraryware is your one-stop shop. It's an all-in-one hub where you create and edit your templates. It's also where you distribute them. You save your work in Libraryware, and from there you can print, you can schedule emails, you can schedule and post to Facebook and Instagram, and you can even push content to your website, all from one place. You can also have unlimited users with Libraryware. So if you want everyone on your staff to use it, or even just a part of it, you can definitely do that. While Libraryware is a marketing and promotional tool, it doesn't have to be limited to the marketing department. There's content that can help everyone, from programmers to public service staff to administration, save time. You can assign different user roles. So maybe not everyone can send emails, but most people can edit templates, or some can only print what has already been created. But you choose, so the administrators of your libraries, you choose the roles that fit your workflows. At their heart, libraries' essential work is to connect readers to the books that they're going to love. And if you're looking for a way to introduce readers to new titles, our Next Reads newsletters make it super easy to do that. Novelist librarians handpick the titles for each list and they write custom annotations. These newsletters are a huge time saver. Because it can take a really long time to put together a good book list, and especially if you're trying to do that multiple times a month. But our librarians are handling all of that research for you, creating these creative and engaging lists so that you can still offer a wide variety of suggestions to readers without the extra workload. Each issue arrives finished and ready to go out to your subscribers, and you don't have to do anything unless you want to. If you want to add in a custom header or promote a program or swap out a title for one of your choosing, it's easy to do any of that editing. In addition to those Next Reads newsletters, you can send emails for any purpose. We have a large selection of drag and drop email templates ready for you to use, and customizing them is a breeze. You can easily add in or remove sections or even save parts of emails to reuse in later emails, whether it's fonts, colors, images, book jackets, everything can be tailored to fit your needs. Our drag and drop email editor is also packed with some really fun features. Maybe you want to build anticipation for a big event or an announcement. You can add in a real-time countdown timer. You can also include dynamic call to action buttons or even animated GIFs to make your emails even more engaging. You get limitless options with Library Aware. You can have unlimited email subscribers. You can send as many emails as you want, as often as you like. There are no caps or tiered pricing. This is all already included in your subscription. So you have complete freedom to reach your growing audiences whenever you need. We include an image library of thousands of high quality images, icons, and design elements so that you can mix and match as much as you'd like, or even create something entirely from scratch. And we also include millions of book jackets and AV covers, as well as their annotations. And you can simply search for the cover that you need right there within LibraryWare and pull it in. And all of our images are high resolution, and we've taken care of the copyright for you. So you can use them in your LibraryWare materials without worry. LibraryWare makes it easy to create content for your website and social media platforms. You can set up book carousels, or some people call them book rivers, to create virtual book displays right on your website. It's a fantastic way to highlight different titles from your catalog, to offer some of that indirect reader's advisory for those who aren't in the library in person or maybe just prefer to browse on their own. The book carousels are a widget, and if you're not familiar with that term, so a widget is an embeddable web container, and then we have widget templates, which is a separate thing. Those create digital graphics, but the widget container, so it's embeddable on your website, and they're linked to newsletters. So think of Next Reads newsletters. And the best part is that once you place that widget container code on your website, anytime a new issue of that newsletter goes out, the book jackets update to reflect that latest issue without any work on your part. That's automatic. It's just a nice hassle-free way to keep your website content fresh and engaging without extra effort. Libraryware also offers a variety of widget templates, like I said, in different aspect ratios, so you can use those to create eye-catching digital graphics that you use on your website. They're perfect for engaging banners, event promotions. They're also perfect for social media. We have a very large selection of ready-to-post readers advisory graphics. And with our built-in integration with Facebook and Instagram, you can even schedule your posts directly from within Libraryware. Or you can just download the graphics. They download as image files, as PNG files, so you can download them and use them wherever you'd like. Libraryware offers thousands of print, email, and widget templates that are tailored specifically for libraries. Whatever communication channels you choose, whatever you need to promote, there's a template designed to meet your needs. Our talented graphic designers collaborate closely with novelist librarians to craft readers' advisory templates. These templates are perfect for creating book flyers, bookmarks, emails, and digital graphics. So just anything that you want to be able to print, put on display, or share online. So they're just the perfect book discovery material that is ready to go for you. We also help you connect with readers of all interests. Something really cool that we offer are for fans of lists. And these are, if you love a particular movie or TV series, here are some book recommendations that will match those tastes. And these lists are just a really fun way to tie into pop culture. We also create reading maps, and these are, if you enjoyed a specific book, you'll get suggestions for similar reads. Or if you're waiting for this really popular book with a high holds list, here are some other great titles to enjoy while you're waiting. We've got templates to highlight award winners each year, to create book display signs. And, you know, all of these templates are as ready to go as possible, but they are also fully editable. So, you know what? If you want to swap out book covers, if you want to change up any of the wording or the descriptions or pop on your library's logo, it's easy to do that. And of course, you want to get the word out about the great programs that you offer, whether that's story times, book clubs, art, crafts, music, STEAM, STEM, gardening, homework help. Uh, Libraryware has you covered. If you are hosting it at your library, chances are there's a template for it. And for everything else that you need to create and share, be sure to check out Libraryware, from general signage, holiday closure, signs and graphics. Whether it's summer or winter reading, you'll find reading logs, flyers, badges, and more. We've got bingo templates and templates to promote your online resources and databases. If you're preparing an annual board report, or you're just wanting to share out an impact that you've had with your community, our infographic templates make it easy. You just pop in your numbers and you share your review effortlessly. We really do have templates for just about everything. So you set your library's branding, and then every email that you create will automatically include that branding in the header, footer. Some print templates also have what we call a branding block. So you might come across a template that has a gray placeholder area at the bottom, and that means that that area has been specifically marked to be filled with a branding block. But not every template has that, just to give libraries some more flexibility. Maybe you don't want a full branding block. Maybe you just want to add in your logo and your URL. Um, and our designers often create these coordinating sets. So you might find a flyer that matches an e-blast, that matches a widget, etc. And that is a great way that you can share promotions consistently across different communication channels. Libraryware provides all the tools and functionality you need to manage, track, and organize your promotions. When it comes to email subscribers, if you have existing email lists, you can do a bulk upload to Libraryware and add them to different subscriber interest groups. Those subscriber interest groups allow you to create targeted messaging to segment your audience. We also provide an opt-in page URL that you can use to encourage patrons to sign up to receive the communications that they want from you. You can track your metrics right in Libraryware. So for every email and newsletter you send, you'll see how many people received it, the open rate, the number of clicks, and more. And the same goes for any posts that you share through Libraryware's integration with Facebook and Instagram. You'll be able to see how many clicks each post gets. And you can organize your output. So you can schedule emails, widgets, and social posts. You can track all of your organization's outgoing communications across all users. And when you are ready to learn more about Libraryware, we offer free recorded training. Occasionally, we offer live sessions as well, but these are perfect to get you up to speed using Libraryware for your specific role. So if you're mostly creating print materials, we have a training that's specifically on creating print materials, how to use the editor, etc. Same for email marketing, social media marketing, next reads, and more. And I will show you where to access that when we jump into Libraryware in just a few minutes. Okay, so that was the spiel part, going through all of the stuff that Libraryware has to offer. So I'm going to pause now to see if there are any questions. And then after questions, we'll jump into Libraryware to do our orientation.
I don't see questions in the chat.
Okay.
I see a lot of chatter going on in the chat, but this is your opportunity. If you have any questions, you may add them in the chat or speak up. And if we hear none, we will move on and let Caleigh show us the magic.
Okay. Well, we'll stop. We'll have some more time at the end for questions as well. So I'll go ahead and just carry on. Let me just switch over to my browser. So Libraryware is accessed. It's just a website, libraryware.com. Take a quick sip of water there. And when you first log in, you will see the Libraryware homepage. Right at the top is our main navigation toolbar with all of the sections. Right below that is the template search bar, which we'll come back to in just a moment. Then we have this editor type legend. So each of these templates you'll see has a corner tab to indicate which editor that template uses. So the drag and drop, that is for print materials and widget templates. drag and drop email. That's our newer editor for email. And then we do still have some templates for both for print and email for the classic editor, but we don't create new templates for that editor. We just haven't got rid of it because there's a few diehard users and we don't want to upset them. So, but this orange one, you'll probably not see very often at all. You're going to be looking for the green or the purple. We've got feature template carousels on the homepage, and I'm just going to go through those. The first one is new releases, and these are recently released, I believe up to 50 templates that have been recently released. We do release new templates all the time, pretty much weekly. I see new templates being added. So this is a lot of fun to scroll through and see what's new. I'm so excited for these new Valentine's ones. I think they're fantastic. So you can just scroll through anything that you would like more information about. There's a preview link. So you could go ahead and click that. It just brings up a pop-up with more details about the template, a little bit of a closer look. You'll also see all of the keywords that that template has been tagged with. So keyword searching, that's how you find templates in LibraryAware. So you could then take any of those keywords, type them into the search bar, and find other templates that have also been tagged with those keywords. So like they'll even include design elements as part of the keywords. So like scalloped, because it's got this scalloped edge. So you can do a search for scalloped to find other templates that have that design element. And if you were ready to create this item and make it your own, you would hit that create button and it would open up in the editor. But I'm just going to go ahead and close. You'll see two in these thumbnails right underneath it's the template title and then the format of the template. So for widgets, you'll always see an aspect ratio with it. So 1:1, that's that square aspect ratio. These are the ones that are great for both for Facebook and for Instagram. It's a really great ratio for those platforms. The next carousel is called My Starred Items, and this is going to be unique to each individual user because what it shows you are the most recent items that you yourself have created or have been editing. And it's just a quick access way to jump back in to whatever you've been working on most recently. And we have LibraryAware staff picks. These are 10 templates selected by LibraryAware staff that are extremely of the moment. So they are going to follow along with whatever trend is happening right now or whatever holiday is happening right now. So that gets updated frequently. And last but not least, this one is my favorite. This one is called Trending Now. And these are the templates that are currently being used the most by other libraries right now. You know, if you have one of those days where maybe you have to put together a book display and you just have no inspiration left, because seriously, sometimes we're just tired. This is a great place to go just for some of that inspiration. You know, you can see what kind of book displays, what kind of books are popular at other libraries right now. Or if you're just curious as to, you know, maybe what programs are currently popular at other libraries right now. It's just a fun one to scroll through. Oops. So I'll go back to the top and we will dig into the search bar. So like I said, searching for templates is done through keywords. So you want keywords or phrases related to the topic or the theme or the design element that you're interested in. If maybe you're wanting to put together something, some sort of book promotion, a great place to start is searching by a genre. You know, so sci-fi or mystery or I'm going to do romance because, of course, we're coming up soon on February 14th. And And I'm just gonna, oh, wrong way. There we go. Just let me refresh that. I like to zoom out so we get the 4 across instead of just the 3. So at your results list, you might see results in many different formats and many different designs. So you can see here we've got flyers, we've got widgets, we've got bookmarks, different designs. Um, so we also have the option to refine your search, and by format is the most common one because, of course, you're likely wanting to create a very specific item, whether that's a bookmark or whether, it's a flyer, or whether you want that digital graphic. So for digital graphic, you can select widget. You can go through and see all kinds of options. If you're wanting email, I do recommend rather than selecting format eBlasts, if you go to, let me just uncheck that, under editor type, select drag and drop email. And then that way you're not going to accidentally select a template that was made for our classic editor. The drag and drop editor creates emails that are totally responsive. So, they look great on a phone as well as a desktop. And it just has a lot more functionality and it's a lot easier to use because it's newer. For programs,
Oh, that's not what it's called.
you want to go with, words related to the theme or the topic of the program, story time, crafts, author visit. These are some more recent ones that I thought they were fantastic, and I've seen them used for multiple things. So these how-to festival ones are a lot of fun. And you can see again, lots of different formats. And some of the templates will have a place. It's a logo placeholder, so it's just an image in the template that you can remove it if you don't want it at all, or you swap it out for your library's logo. Or if you see where it's got the gray placeholder area, and I'm just going to do preview here of this one. So this gray placeholder area, so that template has a built-in spot for your branding block. But recently, within the last couple of years, the designers have started creating 2 versions. So these are both a poster. They look pretty close to the same thing, but one has a branding block and one does not. And that's just to give you more of that flexibility so that you can add in your branding however works best for you. Okay, so that was template searching. When you start creating items, you're going to want to get familiar with your folders area. And maybe I'll just zoom back in there. So we go to the folders tab on our main navigation toolbar. Folders are where the print, widget, and email items that you create, where you will save those. And from the all folders view, you're going to see it's a table setup. It's going to show you a thumbnail of the most recently edited item within that folder, the name of the folder, who created the folder originally, when it was created, when it was last updated, and the total number of items in it. And you can resort by any of these column headers just by clicking on them. If you have a lot of folders in your organization, you might want to go through and the folders that you work with the most often, make sure you've got that little star marked. And then that way, anytime you go to the folders area, you can just go to starred and see just those folders that you yourself have starred. So it's a nice way to quickly access what you need to when you're in a very large organization that may have a lot of folders. You can also archive folders so that they come out of all of the list of active folders. And so that way, you don't have folders from 7 years ago that you have to scroll through to archive a folder. So it takes it out of that list, but it's not permanently deleted in case you ever need to get back into it to access the items that were in it. But when you're in a folder, if you go to folder settings, you'll find the option to archive. And archive folders just live on the left here. And if you decide, oh, no, I need that one again, you would just select it and then unarchive. I'm not going to do that though, but so all folders is just going to show you the active folders for your organization. Starred just shows you what you yourself, the folders that you yourself have starred. And then archived is any old folders that are no longer in use that you want to take out of that list of active folders just to keep it organized and clean. You can also do a search if you go to all items. So maybe you know that there's an item that somebody created, but you don't know what folder it's in. This is a great way to find that. You can go to all items, and this is going to then show the items that have been created across all of that one account, your library's account. And you can filter it too. So, I'm specifically looking for a widget, and maybe I know it was specifically created by this person. And then you can also sort the list, but just a way to be able to quickly find something if you're not totally sure where it is, rather than having to go to multiple folders trying to find it. So that was our folders tab. Next up is newsletters. And this is where those Next Reads newsletters are going to live if you have those turned on. So if we go here to newsletter lists on the left, anything here with that little asterisk, that's indicating a Next Reads issue. So those are created centrally at Novelist and then pushed out to everybody's accounts who has opted in to use them. There's no charge for that. And if you don't have them turned on and you do want them turned on, you just let support know and they'll flick that switch for you. If you're creating emails or using Next Reads, of course, you're going to need subscribers. And so that's our next tab on our toolbar. Here we are, active email subscribers. This is going to show you all active subscribers for your organization. You can filter by, specific newsletter. So if I want to know who is subscribed to my fantasy and science fiction Next Reads, I could do that. And then interest groups, those are how you segment your audience to send e-blasts. So you're sending the information that people are specifically interested in. And that just really boosts your open rates. And if you have existing email subscriber lists that you want to upload into Library Aware, you can just do that here under the little add button. To create subscriber interest groups, you just go here to this tab. You can create as many as you like. If they have the little lock, that means it's a private one. It's not going to show up on your opt-in page for just random people in the public to be able to sign up for. If it doesn't have the lock, that means it is going to be on your opt-in page. So anybody who has that opt-in page link will be able to check off that, yes, they want those kind of communications from you. And your opt-in page, you get a built-in opt-in page automatically with Library Aware. And I'm just going to show you quickly what that looks like. So here I've got mine with all of my newsletters, Next Reads newsletters, and then these are my subscriber interest group topics. So yeah, you can place the subscribe link then anywhere you want, on your website. You put it on print materials, create yourself a QR code, plaster that everywhere, so that people can easily sign up to receive information from you. The next tab we have is the Reports tab. This is where you're going to be able to find those statistics and metrics for your communications. When you first go to that tab, you're going to be at Folders. You're going to be able to see the schedule, and this is going to show you the schedule of all things in your organization that have been recently sent or are scheduled for future sends, and that can be emails, e-blasts, or it could also be if you have that integration, you're using that integration for Facebook or Instagram, or if you have a promotional widget container that you're posting graphics to from within Libraryware. You can set yourself a date range, and this is my training account. I don't send a lot of stuff, so I'm just going to set a really wide date range here. There we go. So we can see some things just to give you an idea of what that's like. So it's going to show you here, what type of post was it, where was it posted to, when was it posted on. So that's your schedule. And then if I go to metrics on the left, that's going to give me those metrics, those statistics on my posts. And same thing, I set myself a date range. Let's widen this up here. And then you get a grand overview, but then you can limit by specific channel. So if I want to specifically see in that time period what emails were sent and what the statistics are, the metrics are for those, go to the emails tab. I get my open rate. Don't judge your open rate by mine because I have like five subscribers that are all me. So I open everything. And you can download this data as a spreadsheet with this export button. You can do the same for newsletters. So your Next Reads newsletters, if you want to see your send history. So during the date period, how many emails totally were sent out, what's your open rate, how many clicks. You can see here, so it's going to say for each issue, how many people was it sent to, when was it sent on, and again, you can export this data as a spreadsheet. Newsletter subscription history. This is a tough one for me to show because I don't get new people signed up for my stuff. my Next Reads newsletter, so I'll set a really wide date range. But for the date range, it's going to show you if any of your newsletter lists had new subscribers. That's all it's going to show. So it's not going to show all of your lists, only the ones in the time period that did receive new subscribers. But it's going to list what the newsletter is, how many new subscribers, if anybody in that same time period unsubscribed from them, and then the total number of current subscribers for that newsletter. And then communication summary is just that. It's a summary of all communications for your library's account, for the time period, 17 print items, and then it will even break that down by format if that's something you're interested in, e-blasts, etc. So lots of great data at your fingertips. If you're a data nerd like me, hooray for spreadsheets. The last tab that we have here on our main navigation toolbar is the admin tab, and you will only see this tab if your Libraryware user role is administrator or publisher. Now, if you are administrator, you will see all of these things here. If you are publisher, you will only see, I think it's asset management and templates. I think that's the only section that you see. But you do just need to be an administrator in order to see all of these options. Your basic settings, so that is the basic setting for your library's account, your address, your logo, etc. Organization access is so all of the users for your LibraryWare account. It's going to show here the user's name, their email, what role they've been assigned. You can update their role for any reason if you need to. And if you need to remove a user, maybe you've had some staff turnover, it's just that little shield with a minus sign icon in the remove column. To add new users, it's done through an email invitation. And you would put in the email address, you would assign one of the 4 user roles, and send the invitation. Now, when they receive the email, there'll be a link that they have to click in order to complete the account setup process, which includes creating their LibraryWare password. But once they've done that, then they will appear here in Users with Access with a green confirmed check mark. Social accounts, this is where you connect LibraryWare to your library's Facebook and or Instagram to be able to post directly to those. And asset management. And then if we go to branding, this is where all of your branding blocks are going to be. And you can update those and edit those as required. Okay. So that's our navigation. What I want to speak to you before we have a little bit more time for questions is help and support. Now, LibraryWare has amazing customer support. And I say this because that is the main reason why I applied for this job at Novelist, is because I loved LibraryWare, but I loved how responsive the support team was. And so when this job came up, I thought, that would just be fantastic to work with people who care this much about customers. So when you are in LibraryWare, we have live chat. It's just this at the bottom right. The live chat is with real people, not bots. I highly recommend them. There's no question too small, no question too big, or even just feedback. We love to hear from you. You can also send us an email if you prefer, and at the bottom right is this help and support tab, and that just opens up an email form. So you can just go ahead and fill that out and send support an email. We also have extensive help pages with instructions to walk you through various tasks that you might need to do in LibraryWare, and you access that with the little question mark icon at the top right. So if I click that, it's going to open up the help pages in a new browser tab. And we've got popular help topics in this menu here, all help topics listed here. You can search for the help that you need. Maybe you're confused. What are the user roles? What's the difference with those user roles? Just type in user roles and you'll be able to find that information quickly. This is also where you access our training page. And so here, I'm going to go to training. I did share a link to download a handout that has links to help pages. If you want to learn more about anything that we were talking about today. But this help one, just in case, I'm going to put this in the chat right now just to make sure that you have it. It's a really good one to bookmark. If we have any upcoming live webinars, they'll be listed here. So we've got this week on Thursday, we're doing our summer reading templates reveal party. So it's not necessarily training, it's more just like our new summer reading templates drop that day, and it's just check out what we have, what's available, and get your name put in for a draw for a prize. If you're wanting training specifically about editing for the summer reading templates. We've got a live session coming up on that here. So in March 12th. And the register link is there for you. And then we have all of the recordings. So the recorded training are kind of those regular sessions on very specific functions, creating print materials, email, etc. And then for those specialty topic things, we have recordings available here as well. So lots of great help and training options. Make sure that you're familiar with what is available. And that is everything that I wanted to make sure that I showed you today. Patty. Patty said the recording trainings really helped her when she started using Libraryware, but now she bothers her coworkers for help. That's awesome.
So, Caleigh, we are, we do, we we at CKLS purchase Libraryware for our member library. So
Yes.
some of the things we dropped in the chat were reminders that each library has its own folder and they work within that
Okay.
folder. And so things like admin, that's all done on CKLS's side. And we've
Okay.
also dropped in the name of the person who is now in charge of Libraryware help at our building. But some things that were really interesting. One of our longtime users mentioned how she looks at a template to figure out if it's portrait or landscape. She said, when choosing a flyer to make with no branding, how is the easiest way to tell if it's portrait or landscape without opening each one? This seems to be a struggle for me a lot.
Um, so when you are looking for templates, so specifically for flyer, say, it this is portrait. Um, and so here, this is a nice way to show you. Portrait, landscape. But you can also tell that if you go to the preview, so you can just pop into that preview quickly as well, and it'll list that up here.
And one of the questions that I've gotten a couple of times
Okay.
and that we just answered again is I had pointed out that the gray boxes are where your branding goes.
Yep.
And our local contact is Ashley. She's the person that helps on the admin side getting their branding updated if they've
Oh,
changed
perfect.
their location, address, or phone number, or if they've changed their picture. And Ashley helps
Okay.
with that. And when I said earlier what my biggest challenge was saving into my folder is I am the person who monitors the CKLS member Facebook pages and send a message here and there saying, hey, you need to use your own because you have somebody else's branding on your folder, but it's on their pages. And so that's one of the most challenging parts, it seems, with this consortium, because I see all the cool things and I want to do all the cool things. And I think
Yes.
the number one challenge that I have heard since we started using it was how do I get this pretty thing that Caleigh made and how do I make it mine and get it saved in the right place without messing with yours?
Oh, yes. So you can. So first, I'm just going to show you quickly, if you open it up, this isn't the correct branding that you need. Your branding options will be on the side here. You find the one that you do want, and you just drag and drop it into place because drag and drop. And then, yeah, when I save, I'm going to save it to a specific folder. I'm just going to exit though. I'm not going to save. Sorry, what was the question?
So you've made a cool flyer that somebody else has seen on Facebook and they want to
Okay.
use your flyer. They found it on here, but they don't want to mess with your original. How do they do that?
Perfect. So you go to the folder where that item lives, and you don't even have to open it up into the editor. You see the thumbnail of it, and when you hover, you get this three-dot menu. That is going to let you copy. And when you do that, it's going to let you copy it to any other folder that you want. So you can give your copy um, a name, and then you select the correct folder or your folder, copy item, and now you have your own copy in your folder that has nothing to do with the original.
That's really nice that it takes you directly to your folder
Yes,
after selecting that. That's nice.
yes.
We also have a question. Um, what do you do when trying to post a Facebook page? Double checking, of course, to make sure that it's the correct library page. What do you do when it's cycling or working for 5 minutes or more?
That's a tough one. I know we've been having a lot of difficulties with Meta changing things on their end and not telling us that they're changing things on their end. And so it almost feels like it's breaking every other day and we're having to like get them to help us fix it. If you are really stuck like that, please use the chat because the sooner that a support person can look at it and be like, okay, yes, that's an issue on our end, or no, that's an issue on their end, um, the sooner they're going to be able to sort that out. Don't ever hesitate. Like if you've been sitting there for 5 minutes, just open up the chat and just be like, I'm trying to post to Facebook and it's not going. What do I do? And somebody will help you.
Thanks. We have another question. So,
Oh, I was just going to say too, though, if you really need to, like if you are struggling and you have something that you want to post right away, any of your materials in your folders here, you can go view image. It opens up in a browser tab. Um, there we go. Right click on it, save image. So that will let you save the image file to your computer. And then if you need to, you can post it directly yourself. If you're running into an issue and it's a time sensitive thing. I don't want you to like just be like, okay, well, I guess I'm just not posting that. You can still post it.
okay. So say you've made a flyer and then all of a sudden you need to change it to a widget. Is there a way to do it without having to change and start all over from scratch?
Sort of, but it doesn't work great when you are going from something with one kind of aspect ratio and you're changing it to something in a different aspect ratio. It That's a really difficult thing. And I know we hear from a lot of people that, Canva has this magic resize, but it doesn't always work great either because when you're going from something that's like this to something that's like this, you're gonna have to be fiddling a lot with it. But that's also why we create those matching sets so that you're not having to start from scratch. You can just start from the template. But if you do something that's kind of like an easy fix, and what I'm going to explain is, um, so let's say you created a full-size flyer, but now you want to have quarter page flyer option versions as well. What you could do for that is I'm going to go to create and I'm going to say blank. So we do have blank templates for any time that you want to start from scratch. But so what I want to do is I want quarter page flyers, and then I just do I want with branding or without? If I'm going from something I've already created to this, I'm going to choose something without. And my flyer is this way, so I want to make sure I get, and this is going to be hard to see because the white on the light gray, but so this one here, this is my landscape. I want this one here, which is my portrait. So when I go to create, what's really cool is every item that you create in LibraryWare automatically has like an image version that you could insert into any other libraryware item you want. So whether that's, you make a widget and then you want to insert that into your email, it's really easy to do that. But so here I have my blank. What I'm going to do is on the left under images, I'm going to go to folder items. I'm just going to drag that over here. It's going to open up the libraryware image selector, so you've got tabs here, right? Images, folder items, book jackets, AV cover art. And folder items, this may be like a brand new thing that nobody ever realized before because, you just always go to images or always go to book jackets.
Right.
So I totally get that. But yes, you can go to folder items. And sometimes this takes a while there we go. And it's, you can search by the item name, but you go in, you find the one that you want, you select, and then you can go ahead and you can either put that in and here, I'm going to zoom in. I don't know if you can see. When you're moving this around, it's kind of transparent, so that's going to let you see where the canvas borders are. So I want as little white of a white border as possible. So that's just what I'm going to do there. Is move that to the top, drag this so that I went a little too far. Anyway, so you can kind of play around with it and get it to fit the best that you can because again, like I said, when you're going from one to the other, they're not ever going to line up perfectly. And then save it. Do, 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 do. And now when I go out, I've got a quarter page flyer that matches my flyer. So when you're doing something like that where it's kind of the same aspect ratio, it works. Or if you're taking like a flyer or a widget and putting it into an email, perfect. But if you're trying to take something that's a portrait aspect ratio and make it into a landscape, it's not going to work great. But we've tried to make it as easy as possible by creating those coordinating sets of templates so that at least you're not starting completely from scratch.
We also have a question. Can you change the calendars so when I have January made, I could just change it to February without having to start over?
Yes.
Ooh.
It takes a little bit of editing, but yeah, let me just. Sorry, the kids are going to be getting off of school anytime now, and that's when my internet slows right down. It's trouble working from home. Okay, so I'm just going to grab random one. And let's see, February 1st is a Saturday. So you would just go in here and so I wouldn't need that or that. So if you just click on it and get the border around it, you can either hit delete on your keyboard or the little garbage can. And then here, I'm just going to edit. So that's 1, 2, etc. And then go ahead and change up what you need. One thing I will say is if you are just making a copy of something that you've already created, every time you do that, it allows for the code to start to break down. So this is not an official rule of thumb, but my rule for myself is I can copy something up to 3 times, and then I want to start from scratch with a fresh from the template itself and not a copy of the item. Just because, yeah, just every time it copies over, the code can get a little funny, and then you could start getting weird things happening. So you just don't want to be copying the same item 75 times.
This is Patty. I have a question about images that are uploaded.
Yes.
Um, I know that each year, because I watch the shared image file, and I
Yep.
know every year at the end of summer library, I'll see several CSLP or iReads images that have been uploaded.
Yep.
And our libraries are well educated on what they can use the CSLP stuff for. But what about those images that might be a picture of a child? Are those ever cleaned out, or is that our responsibility to clean out our image folder?
So for those of you that are admins, if you go to admin under image management, that's where all of your images are. And so anything that you want to deactivate,
Okay.
and then that keeps it from, nobody is going to be able to see it in your image library and accidentally use it. If you have, say you have a batch of them, um, rather than having to go through and deactivate them individually, if you know the file names, you can just give that as a list to support, like create a spreadsheet or Word document with the names and say, hey, support, we have all of these images that we want to deactivate. They'll handle it for you.
Wonderful.
Free of
I'm not so
charge.
much worried about text or things like CSLP. I'm worried about where we've uploaded the
Photos.
author's picture or a photo
Right.
of a child where it might get, oh, hey, this looks like stock image because somebody else uses it. And since we're all sharing, we don't
Right.
know what that history of that picture is. So, okay,
Yeah.
that's good to know. See, and that's something I didn't know how to do
Yeah.
before.
And you can also, anytime you upload an image, you can edit the file as well. So like, um, I'm just going to say, so say I'm XYZ branch, I'm going to say XYZ use only, save that. And then if I am any, ABC branch and I'm creating something, sorry, I just need to open up the image selector from when I'm in the editor so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so, oh, is that not the, I thought that was the one.
XYZ instead of ABC.
No, that's the name of the file. I just added the
Ah.
keywords and maybe it might not have been enough time for it to talk to. But yeah, so you can add keywords and then you can train people to always make sure that they just glance at that quickly just to make sure. Another thing too is you can always come in here and say, I only want to see the stock photos when I'm doing a search for photos for images. And then that way you're not going to accidentally get somebody's uploaded personal individual branch stuff.
Thank you. That is, I'm sort of known around here as the copyright police, so I wanted to make sure I knew how to handle that situation and give them the easy way to get there. So thank you for answering that.
You're welcome. Something else that you can do as well, because yes, so I just see about being an admin, being able to edit the keywords or the name or anything. For the images, you do have to be an admin. But if you are at a branch, and you're uploading an image and you don't want it to anybody else to be using it, make sure that what you do is change the title of the image. So you can make the title say XYZ only, and then the rest of the title. And then that way, when you're just looking here, that will be very obvious. So that's an option too. And that's something that anybody who is just a user can do right from the image selector, right? You can select an image to upload from your computer. So just make sure that you've edited the title and then,
That's a
yeah,
super idea to isolate those from others. Okay.
yeah.
Great answer. Thank you. Liz, do we have other questions in the chat that I have missed?
I'm not seeing any others.
Okay. Um, Caleigh, you have given us a lot to think about, and it's been so long since the CKLS staff have had the basics. So I have a lot of notes that I took today for me,
Excellent.
and I don't have to bother my coworkers so much now.
I love doing these when there's people who've been using it for a long time because when you use it for a long time, you get into habit. You're only looking at your specific things, and then so stuff just falls off the radar, right? And then I'll have people who be like, "I've been using this for 5 years and I didn't know it did that." But that's because, yeah, you get
That would be
into your
me.
yeah. So I love doing these even for people who are regular users because, they usually find at least one thing that they didn't know about, and that makes me happy.
There's at least 3 today, but it's also been a few years since I played with it. So this
Perfect.
was awesome. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, and if you're ever not sure if it can do something or, you know, just use the chat. Our support team, fantastic.
And it looks like the chat is working library to library here because they're sharing with each other answers to
Yes.
problems.
Oh,
Um,
Amy, you know what? Erica is just, oh my God, she is such a lovely person. She is so great.
I'm so glad that